Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? It's Russell from Porky's Corner. The biggest goblin sport. We say the things on here that nobody dare say. I want to give a big shout out to our sister channel, Porky's International. Feel free to like and subscribe and jump over there. Now, where do we start here? Hey, 2 seconds, I'm just getting a drink. Where do we start? With all the knackers that's been chattered. And that's what it is, isn't it? Pure knackers. I've just seen Chizora's seconds out video with Radio Raheem. What a whopper he is. Now, Del Boy just told it straight, he froze, but he also said you were 85,000 there. I've heard 82,000. Bricktop's saying 98 now, but London Transport only cleared it for 96. You could make it up. None of them could lie straight in bed. Well, let me just clear this up. Somebody's just emailed me saying that they've heard on grapevine. This guy's usually right as well. And Derek Chisora, IBF rank number 10. Is it mixed to fight Dubois? Was a voluntary. Not on your Nelly, but then again, we said that, didn't we, regarding him fighting Fury for a trilogy. What a lot of messing about that was. So I'd rather Derek get it than some yank, Frank Sanchez or something. Do you know what I mean? Right. Spotty Frank. I'm just going to go through these bullet points here. There's 45 and there's a couple that are going to make people's eyes pop out on sticks. They're going to pop out that much. You're going to need big bins like Big Bulk. Hey? Anybody see Don Charles rinse Big Malk on Box Nation? Don't mention that man's name to me ever. He's a born liar. Big Malk with his big bins. It's refueling after that session. Max, bet you've not done one today, have you? Like a machine. Right. Spotty Frank, why are you coming out on YouTube? AKA Frank Smith, Chief Executive Officer of Matchroom. Oh my God. What titles they give him these days? Can you imagine that on his door, Spotty Franks? Can you imagine that? Anyway, Spotty Frank, why are you coming out saying AJ's still going to be a 3-time world champion? He might not even fight again. Trading on an empty stomach, it kills you, doesn't it? Oh, right. So I don't see him being a 3-time champ again. No, I see him getting hurt in ring. Touch what he done. But it is what it is, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. Closest I'll ever get to a shark. I've seen them little mini sharks. Right. Johnny Horsecock. Telling it straight on that PC Gullies channel from Main Street Nick Rotherham serving copper. The Jack Regan of boxing. I'm starting to like Horsecock me lately. He goes for it, doesn't he? But this is how I look at it. If Anthony Joshua was still at Sky, would Johnny Horsecock be talking like that about him? Kind of like disrespecting him, innit, really? I don't think he would. Caldwell as well, with 6 sermons, 6 30-minute sermons of a space of 24 hours. Oh my God. These people, unbelievable. They're all coming out at woodwork, aren't they? I've been doing this for years, but now all of a sudden they're jumping on the pork's back, aren't they? Saying stuff that I've been saying for years. How do I feel about that? Well, I think they're taking a leaf out of Carl Frotcher's book, aren't they? But he can afford to say it, can't he? With all the millions in bank and MBE on mantelpiece, British title outright, 4 world title belts, and you know, his wife and kids and all that. He's happy in it, Carl. He can come out and do and say what he wants. A lot of these that are coming out are just doing it to have a bit of PR, I think, really. I don't think AJ's ever going to be trained by Bombay Dave, is he? No. Everybody's an expert. Most decorated trainer in country is Joe Gallagher, and he don't get a look in with any fighters, really, from Olympics, does he? I think he's only had two, has he? Lawrence Okolie and Joe Murray. I don't know. But it is what it is. But Bombay Dave plenty to say for himself about Ben Davidson. So has Johnny Horscott. They're all experts after the fact, aren't they? See where I'm coming from? And I thank Sean and Dave for coming on the channel the other day. Good response to them. We've got a few more coming on, a few newbies coming on, and some are coming back. So I think people are starting to think that everything I've been banging on about since the start of this channel, November 2017, they're all starting to say, do you know what, that kid's right, that South Yorkshire lad. He called it bang on. So, cream rises to the top, my old man always used to say. When he weren't taking pit belt to me, probably because I deserved it. I were a bad seed. Porky, what's best diet a boxer should go on for his breakfast? What do I know? I'm only going on what I've heard. I know Froch used to have porridge with blueberries and semi-skim milk. Joe Calzaghe used to have toast, didn't he? A cup of tea and toast. Floyd Mayweather used to get up at all hours, didn't he, and train, but he used to train on McDonald's, didn't he? Chicken burgers and stuff like that. Floyd Mayweather and Calzaghe never got beat, did they? They're in Hall of Fame. So is Froch. They used to have porridge. So I think everybody's different, aren't they? It's what works for you. I think if you live the life, though, and you can have little treats, can't you, if you're a boxer? It's just if you live the life, you can get away with odd Kit Kat, can't you? And a cup of tea with an extra spoon of honey. But it's if you abuse it, in between fights and stuff. So when you're in training camp, I'd have thought they'd be more dedicated. But Calzaghe used to have same training camp, didn't he, in Valleys? He used to go on same run, have same breakfast and blah, blah, blah. So everybody's different. It's what works for you. What works for me is I like to get up in the morning and go for a run. If I can't run it there and back where I'm going, I like to run it in stages and just get a sweat on for an hour or so. Then come back and have a couple of shakes, diet whey shakes with milk. That's it. I have this in my shake though. I have a spoon of peanut butter. Peter Fury got me on this peanut butter, and I have that down a malt extract. I'm trying to get a bit of weight on, and I'll have that Manuka honey. But it's a bit dear, that I think, for what you get. So I think any honey is good, isn't it? Really, I mean, one bee doesn't tell another bee that it's better honey, does it? And I think it's the same way. These tomatoes, I had an argument with somebody the other day. Oh, fine, tomatoes are better than them. I said, listen, the tomatoes are tomatoes as long as it's fresh. So it's each to their own, but in moderation. But I'm like £158 and I want to get to 168. So I'm trying to get some on, but it's harder than what you think. But I think if you eat in moderation, you'll be all right. But getting back to boxers, what's best breakfast to have? Well, I think if you run in the morning on an empty stomach, you can push yourself, can't you? Get metabolism working, and then probably porridge. That's the most popular one. But everybody's different, aren't they? Everybody's different. Representing here in Ulster top, best fighter in the world across the weight divisions. People can argue about that, undisputed in two weight classes, but Ulster's going up against guys 2 and 3 stone heavier. Crawford and I Know You, they're not, are they? And Better Beef, so that's how I look at it. And neither is Tank. So it's like Tank getting in with Better Beef. Could you see Tank Davis fighting Better Beef? You get flogged, wouldn't he? Well, that's the difference between Tyson Fury and Usyk. So, all right. Bart Ted won yesterday. The greyhound owned by Lyndon Gilbert, my new pal from Walsall. How you doing, Lyndon? So all them people that backed it, well done. I've had a couple of emails off people and comments, one or two in comment section saying they backed it. So don't make me a dog racing expert though, does it? Just because I know somebody whose dog won. So gambling, bet with your head. Ask your missus before you put your bet on because it can be addictive. Trust me, I know I've got an addictive personality and I've had my moments gambling years ago, but it's not for me. But Lyndon's a nice guy. Nice to meet you, Lyndon. Porky, do you find it's funny? Seconds out were banned from the Wembley show. Yet 2 days later, they're getting Zoom interviews with Bricktop. Yeah, I think that's. I think Danny Flexen got an interview with him. That's crazy, that though, isn't it? Bricktop couldn't get him on Wembley show, but they want to do an interview to get his point across. You know, a couple of days after. Everyone's different, aren't they? Everyone's different. But hey ho. But yeah, I think it's a bit crap that. I think seconds out. It's not my cup of tea, Danny Flexen. But you know, he's put his time in, hasn't he, for him to not get his press pass. I think that's a bit crap. There was a guy from Daily Telegraph got his refused. And I thought that was in bad taste because we saw Gareth A. Davis, his colleague. Gareth A. Davis, his colleague from the Daily Telegraph. He got his refused, didn't he? But Gareth didn't get his refused. He went there with TalkSport. So Gareth obviously doesn't back the GAD, doesn't back his colleagues. And I think he didn't back Spencer, no, Oliver, no, Juggies, no. It was Adam Cattrall. He sat silent, didn't he, when Adam Cattrall got torn apart by Bricktop. He didn't go into bat for him, did he? The God looks after himself. That's my opinion. It is what it is, isn't it? Porky, what is the script with Hills, the 6-0 Iceman from Essex? It's actually Billy Ricky, mate. Saying they're taking time out to think about this rematch. Well, he came out and said there were a rematch clause, didn't he, after the fight? And then within 48 hours, he's saying they're in. So somebody's put a plug, haven't they? Who want to see that rematch? Who want to see that? Come on. He got flogged. It wasn't just flogged, it was shallacking, wasn't it? He got flogged that bad. You can't rebuild him from that. And if they could, it'd be suicide to put him in again, wouldn't it? They did it the same with David Price after he got beat against Thompson, but Joshua was a bit bigger beating than David Price, wasn't it? So, what do I think about it? I think Eddie, if they can get a rematch, they'll put him straight in for it. And if there is one, they'll roll the dice because they'll get paid. There's always that chance they could get a punching on him, isn't there? Anything can happen in heavyweight division. If they don't take it and they want an interim fight, they'll still get the rematch. If they don't take it and it goes another route, it could be years, couldn't it? He might never get another chance. It could end up, like Joe Joyce, who took an interim fight against Zhang, and he's in Wilderness now, isn't he? 1 minute he's looking at fighting Usyk. The next he's fighting Cash Ali from Rotherham. Well, it's true, isn't it? That's what happens, isn't it? That's boxing. So Eddie will know that and he'll want to stay mixing. He'll want a big night with Joshua again. So they'll go again with a different trainer. Watch it unfold. So watch it unfold. Look at this one. I'm going to give you a moment. I met David Wade mentioned it, that Porky's missing teeth. This is this troll that I've had for years. Big P, you're a knob. You know you're a knob, and your gastric band is why you lost weight, not dieting. Also, your teeth are too white, you faggot. Well, Cameron, thanks for blocking him because he's done my head, and I don't know how to block people on here. I had this guy 7 years and he keeps piping up, and Cameron keeps slapping him back down. But it is what it is. Well, when you have your teeth done, mate, right, you can either have them done somewhere good or somewhere bad, right? And you get what you pay for, don't you? But I had a little bit more than that. I had jaw straightened out, or call it squared up, whatever, all sorts of work over all sorts of many weeks, and over 7 months I had to go twice. But when you get your teeth, they come out with one tooth, and it's on like, there's about 12 of them. They start off yellow when they go to white, and then brilliant white and Hollywood white. So when they bring them over, you look and you go, I want them. Now, why would anybody want to pick yellow teeth? Because isn't that the reason that you go in there in the first place? I don't know. So it is what it is. But why would that bother you? Me having my teeth done, isn't that a good thing? Right? So, but it obviously bothers you. So, the faggot thing, I've had that years on here. That don't really bother me. You're a knob. Probably that's true, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Every bird I've ever been out with says, you're a knob, you're a prick. Even my family. So I take that on chin now, don't after 7 years on here. But I've given you a moment. Porky's missing teeth. You've been quiet for months and months and months, and then David mentioned you overnight on his debut, so you've piped back up. So I'm glad you're still alive. All right, keep digging me out, lad. Keep digging me out. Well, I'm this, I'm that. Listen, I bet you wish you were a few quid behind me. Pop up, bang on that one. Porky, what about Big Malk and his and his sources, where he gets his information from? I don't think he gets any information from anybody. When he said that he'd heard of his sources that Oscar Rivers has failed the dope test. Oscar Rivers has failed the dope test. Like that. Listen, what sources told you that? HP source, Daddy's source, or flame sources? What sources? They only exist in your head, Big Malk. That's all it is. But I heard Don Charles say, don't ever mention that man's name ever, ever, ever. And I should have told you that before the interview began. Go and watch that on Box Nation YouTube. That's a good interview, that. And you know what? After watching that interview, I'm warming to Don Charles. And I think he'll come out one day and tell a story about Chisora. And do I apologise for calling Don Charles a brass? No. No, I don't. Because if a fighter sacks you 6 times and you keep running back to him, in my opinion, you're a brass. So no, I'm not going to apologise on that. Do I think he comes across as a good man? Yeah, I do think he comes across as a good man. Do I think he's got integrity? Yes, I think he's got integrity. Yes, I do. Would I trust him to train my kids? My twins, a 12-year-old next November. Yeah, I would. Would I trust him to train Carl Froch if he made a comeback? Yeah, I would. I would. I think he comes across as a decent human being, Don Charles. But is he a brass for running back to Chisora 6 times? Yeah, he is. Yeah, instead of saying, go on, get gone. Because that's what I would have done. But not everybody's like me, are they? I've got a little bit in here, on a bit more than your average man. Probably the coal miner's son in me. Porky, do you agree that the guy Gully on Boxing King Media is the only guy asking challenging questions? I think he skirts around it, but I think he's probably one of the best out there asking half all right questions. But as soon as he realises that he's getting a bit close at knuckle, he shits his pants and goes backwards. Retreat, retreat, retreat. Plus, I ain't got no time for him anyway, because he's a copper. So, and coppers shouldn't be hanging around boxing. That's my opinion. We had enough with that Leonard Nippery, didn't we, at Boxing Border Control? Him who were arrested at Cray Twins. You know, and that who is it who knocked me back on my seconds license? Yeah, you, Les Potts, Chief of Police from Sheffield. Shithouse you. So it is what it is. Bean, can you stop talking possible Fury AJ trilogies? God, I think we covered that other day. We were Sean or David. Adam Smith, Mr. Yes, emerging trainer. Anybody, anytime anybody has a winner, nobody knows who they are. He calls them an emerging trainer, doesn't he? But he's now saying he can see Fury AJ happening if Usyk beats Fury. He could even see a trilogy. Adam Smith, who'd want to see that? Who'd want to see that? Would it even be worth pay-per-view? On what? On strength that they've got big followings, but they won't be there on merit, would they? They've both been knocked about now, haven't they? You're just playing the game, Adam Smith. But this is how I look at it, right? Adam Smith. I ain't got no time for Adam Smith. And there's a few people who said, oh, you're out of order, you can't say this, can't say that. I can say what I want. When I've seen WhatsApp screenshots from people going on who are respecting in boxing, going on about how he were in a clinic for depression and gambling addiction, and he had to go into like a rehab clinic and that. Fair enough, I understand. I can understand addiction. I'm the last person to go on about anybody's addiction. You know, with issues I've had being a drug addict. So, but that's all it passed, isn't it? But I don't come out and say I had cancer, do I? So I know it's a load of rubbish. It's cancer stories. So say what you want, but if I'm wrong, come out and prove it. Prove me wrong. Or send a solicitor's letter, porkycorner@mail.com, and get me put in court for slander. Because that cancer story is a load of rubbish, and you know it is. All right, so that's where we're at. So I don't care what people think. I know where I'm now. So come and take me on. Like I've just said there, Bean. porkycorner@mail.com if I'm full of shit, because you know I'm not. All right. Nobody ever wants to talk about it, do they? Just want to cover their asses and save a bit of face. Him that will leave in Sky after 28 years, if he had cancer, I can assure you, after 28 years of being at Sky and doing what he did for them, he'd have had a big old send-off, funny, if he had cancer issues, but he didn't, did he? So that's where we're at. So Sky would be ruthless, pretty ruthless to do that, wouldn't they? Hey, but he said, what did he say, Adam Smith? I'm leaving Sky Sports to try different things. Couldn't get on anywhere else. And well, what happened? They're working for a small old promoter guy now. I'm trying to pinch a living on odd gig on TalkSport. Oh, how the mighty have fallen, but the cancer story, load of old macaroni. So listen to your Uncle Big P. If not, come on here, Adam Smith, and tell us. Well, I don't see any big documentaries about your battle against cancer and to come through it all and all that. We're not seeing anything like that, are we? Or any documentaries or like that after 28 years, and now you battle back. Load of old rubbish. Load of old rubbish. I can say more on this issue, but I don't need to. All right. Porky, do you think the Saudis will end up doing the Winter Olympics? I don't know. I don't really care. Porky, do you think that Turkey will be a promoter? Yeah, is he a promoter now? Is he a promoter or is he just putting money up? I don't know. But what I want to know about is them 3 women on that YouTube thing that's doing rounds. That one's house arrest for life, one they give 11 years to, and other one I forgot. Got human rights issues over there, aren't they? Even Bricktop were going on about it a few years ago with Saudi with their human rights. Is that right, Bricktop? Do you remember? You remember, don't you? I do. Got it saved on here. Bricktop were going on about human rights in Saudi when he couldn't get in, when there were no room at the inn for him. Now there's plenty of room at the inn for him. You're not mentioning that, eh, Bricktop? Hey? Oh my God. Unbelievable, isn't it? Hey, these people are sell their souls, won't they? Absolutely sell their souls. Porky, it's like a revolving door of heavyweights at the moment. They all can beat each other up, which is a good thing. Only Usyk is the standout guy. Well, Usyk is the standout guy. He's the only top guy at the moment who's undefeated. All the rest of them have been beat, haven't they? He knocked Fury about, didn't he? He knocked Joshua about. He knocked Chisora about, Bellew and Joyce in WBSS. So he's the man in the Usyk. The fact that they're all fighting for scraps or his leftovers just shows you that he's the man. So I don't mind Usyk, to be honest. I think he's a top fella. He comes across with a lot of integrity, just like Julian McGowan, who used to come on here. Reminds me of him, that sort of integrity. So, so good luck to Usyk. Team Usyk. Big shout out to Paul Bradshaw. How are you doing, Paul in Kent? Thanks for this. Long time ago you got me this, kid. Hope you're well. Is AJ good enough now, Porky, to be headlining events, or will he be chief support? So, or on the strength of his commercial value, he's probably still going to headline, isn't he? Because he's commercially viable, isn't he? He looks the part, doesn't he? He's got a great story. Anybody who says anything bad about him, it's soon shut down, isn't it? And he's got up to all sorts of it years, hasn't he? But he's been given free gratis, but commercially he's up there with Jake Paul, and so I think he'll always headline. And I think boxing's gone that way now, isn't it? I mean, does that mean that if a boxer comes through and he has a massive, massive following, bigger than AJ and Jake Paul put together, but can't fight for toffee, they're going to put him headlining? Probably, because that's how it's gone now, isn't it? Because of social media. But I just think that Anthony Joshua is a spent force, but you could see from the very, very beginning that he was very fragile. And then you're hearing rumours about David Price putting him on Button Moon and Lawrence Okoli and Dubois and all setting about him. I've even heard Dave Allen had good spars against him. So it is what it is, isn't it? You know, they're going to milk him. He signed a lifetime deal with Matchroom. So Eddie's not really bothered. While ever Joshua's breathing and he's earning, Eddie's getting a slice of cake, isn't he? So it is what it is, isn't it? But where's the big Nike deal? Where's the big Adidas deal? Ended up with an Under Armour deal that isn't really that good, I've heard, to be honest. To say we're up on billboards in Times Square, New York. So it is what it is, isn't it? Porky, Usyk humbled AJ twice, and then AJ fought stiffs, 3 stiffs, and then Ngannou and one guy, and he were walking around like a roadman. Yeah, he was carrying off like a roadman after he did Ngannou. And I think maybe they got carried away with that, but they weren't bothered. That fight was free gratis, wasn't it? But it's backfired on him because he weren't putting the hard yards in camp, were he, like Usyk? And it showed in that the bar fight. It showed that for the last few years, he's probably just been going through the motions. Whereas Dubois, since Joyce flogged him, he's really got his head down, knuckle down, hasn't he? And he's come on, hasn't he? And you've got to give credit to Don Charles. Don Charles digging Chisora out as well on that Box Nation thing. Did anybody see that? But to be fair to Daniel Dubois, he looked like he meant business. He's got the right mindset. He came out to that ring like Mike Tyson, didn't it? Only thing missing were welcome to the Terror Dome, wasn't it? So that's how I look at it. And Joshua came out, as I pointed out, in the early hours after he got beat. I said he came out in one of them. He came out, he was actually like that white leather jacket that I gave away to somebody. Only thing missing, what sequins on it, like Elvis. I don't know. So he came out looking like Elvis. Only thing missing, well, that wasn't it. I can't do it. Anybody see Proctor's video this morning? That was good, wasn't it? He told it straight, didn't he? Told it straight. And I think that's why Carl's channel's doing good. So keep up the good work, Cobra. Porky, you're a bit hard on Bean's cancer story, don't you think? We've covered that. No, because it's a lot of rubbish. If it isn't, show me. Where was his big send-off at Sky, as I've just said earlier? Where? Where a guy who puts all that time in, eh? And now he's beat cancer. If that's all it were, why ain't he at Sky? You can't risk him at Sky if he's got gambling problems, can they? Not in boxing, because he'd be got at. So if I'm wrong, sue me. All right, sue me. How can anybody reply to a cancer story, though? I can reply to it. But when people come out with something like that, oh, it's cancer, you go, oh, nobody wants to say out, do they? So you have to do your own work and that. And I've done my own work and I've said what I've said. So it is what it is. Like I said, if I'm wrong, sue me. I don't care. I don't want to hear lies, bare lies about cancer. Load of rubbish. Load of rubbish. But when somebody says that, it's like when people used to ring factory. Say, I can't come in. We've had a death in family. What can Kevin say to that? You can't say anything, can you? Do you know what I mean? What can you say? Or people say, oh, I can't come in. My kids are not very well. You can't be horrible and say, well, I don't give a shit about your kids. Get to work. I don't give a shit about death in family. You can't. And that cancer stories are on that line, aren't they? Or what after that? Oh, I've got mental health. Everybody's got an excuse, haven't they? Bean had to come out with something, didn't he? But if he had cancer, now he's beat it. Why is he not back at Sky? Why? Just a simple question. Is anybody going to ask him? Are they? So anyway, that's last on that now. I don't want to seem too harsh, but I am a harsh person when it comes to sifting through shite in boxing and utter BS. Do we all remember Barry Hearn? Somebody's pointing out. Do we all remember Barry Hearn going on about Herbie Hyde when he beat Michael Bent? And they were going on about him being the new Ali. What happened with that? What happened with that? Hey? And then we heard the same about Anthony Joshua going to be better than Ali. What happened with that? What happened with that? Ali's got more than double the wins of a world champions than Joshua and Herbie put together. How's about that? And if you put Deontay Wilder's wins, 2 over Stubborn, Fury's and Joshua's all together, and Herbie Hyde's, what have you got? 13? Ali's got 16. You see where I'm coming from? In an era when there were one belt, and you fought Olympic gold medalists from 1956. Ali won it in 60. He fought Fraser, 64 gold medalist, Foreman, 68 gold medalist. He bashed up the 72 gold medalists in sparring. He done Leon Spinks in 76 after losing first to him. And Trevor Berwick won a gold medalist, but he fought him. That was his last fight. So from 1956, guy, Floyd Patterson, all the way up to Trevor Berwick, 1980, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. 24 year of Olympians, but in 4 decades, he fought Olympians, Muhammad Ali. What's Herbie Hyde, Joshua and Fury done? They're not in his league, and they're in an era where there's 4 or 5 belts. There's only one champion in Ali's day. So Barry Hearn's Herbie Hyde statement, oh my God. A bit like Eddie Hearn's Joshua statements, wasn't it? All roads lead to undisputed and stay humble and be hungry and all this and stay hungry. A load of old rubbish slogans that were coming out, we want there. Now we've got Spotty Frank coming out, haven't we, saying Joshua will be a 3-time champion. Yeah, if you buy him a belt. To be fair to Bricktop, aka Frank Warren, he's wiped Eddie Hearn out, hasn't he, really? And he even had to put his money in his pocket. He's used the oil geezer, Triple T, Tea Towel Turkey. He's used him, hasn't he? Used his money, lined his own pockets in process, and got rid of Eddie Hills. So you've got to give Bricktop credit, haven't you, really? You've got to give him credit. So, okie dokie. Here we go. Why the lack of female fights, Porky? When's Terry Harper out again? Or Tasha Jonas? I don't know when they're out again. Tasha's been waiting 9 months, hasn't she, for a fight with Sky. She's turned 40 in June. I don't know when Terry Harper's out again. Manager, trainer, stroke, whatever he is. I think he's got a few more issues going on in his life that are more important than Terry Harper at the moment. But I think there's a world title fight with women on October 12th in Saudi. So good luck to them with that. But they're not going to put women on there all the time, are they? It looks like it's all dying a death, doesn't it, women's boxing? Savannah Marshall realised that, didn't she? And she got out, didn't she? So do I see it dying on its arse? Yeah, I do. If these Saudis take over, I do. But hey ho, it's not my issue. It's not something I'm concerned about. People complaining about my NASA sweater that I had on the other day. Why did I wear it? And why I've had it ages. For a lot of money, that actually. Why did I wear it? I wore it in support of them 100 people that John Fury put on the moon, on Button Moon. Because it's NASA, they're going to have to fetch them down. So I've never known so many people get bent out of shape over a sweater. That puts some of my other outfits on. But today I thought I'd please you with the Usyk one. It's a sweater, innit? Get over it. I can either do them like this, sat in room, or I could do them in the studio, or do them behind camera. So does it really matter as long as you get to hear the content? It don't matter if you're looking at me or what sweater I've got on, does it really? Or what jewellery or what I'm drinking or whatever. I think them complaining about stuff like that. I think you need to have a look at yourselves and get out more. Go smoke a spliff or have a pint or go have a tear up in a car park. Get it out of your system. Go to job centre or go to gym or go for a run. Go for a run like me. And if I can be nearly 28 stone 8 and get down to this kind of weight, 11.4, you can do it. It's not hard, is it? Yeah, I had a gastric, but it ain't just about that. It's just because you've had a gastric, it don't mean say it's going to work. It's what you put in your mouth, isn't it? Could still sit here eating Nutella all day and drinking lager, couldn't I, if I had a gastric? So, mindset. Big John Fury is not missing anymore. He piped up, didn't he? Sorry, he didn't pipe up. He bowled up at that show, didn't he? So, other night. So, good luck to him. Good luck to him. Big John's piped up. I didn't see any interviews from him. Looks like he's been banned on that one, doesn't it? Pop, pop, bang on that one. We spoke about London Transport Police clearing it for 96,000, but Bricktop topped it up to 98, didn't he? Derek's just topped it down to 85, and the word is it's 82,400. So either way, they've done really well. They beat Carl's 80,000, haven't they? So they've done really well. Will rematch be just as good? Yeah, I think these Joshua fans are diehards, aren't they? So I think they'll go ahead with rematch. I don't really think they're bothered about it if he loses. He's already playing violins, isn't he? But coming out to the ring scared to death and then going out at the ring all beaten up and that and doing selfies, going straight into Mr. Commercial Man. I think that were a bit daft of him, really. He needs to get that bit between his teeth. But my own personal opinion is he's got no knackers when you put it on him. So if you've got no goners, that's it. I mean, that's why we're coming out with stuff like I took up boxing because I thought I was going to end up in jail. So I had to be tough. Well, if you're 6'6" and you look like he does, I mean, look, he's looked like that since he was about 16, hasn't he? You shouldn't need to learn how. You should already be able to fight, shouldn't you? But hey ho, what is AJ's legacy, Russell? Did you go to school with me? Emailing me that. Calling me Russell. You didn't, did you? So it's Porky or Mr. H. Don't call me Russell unless you went to school with me. But AJ's legacy, what do I think to it? He's a protected fighter, isn't he, really? He's been protected all the way through. When Eddie signed Luis Ortiz, who were about 22-0, everybody said they were going to fight. They didn't. And Luis Ortiz were undefeated, wasn't he? He didn't fight undefeated Wilder. He didn't fight Fury when he was undefeated. He's just about swerved everybody, hasn't he, really? So I look at it, and they've just fed him people like Pulev, Povetkin, Vladimir, people from that era. People were saying Dylan White were last live dog he fought, but he was coming off a 2-year ban money, and he'd never won out at that stage. He'd never won a belt, and he didn't come from a boxing background. He came from a K2 background, didn't he? So where's the live body on his record? Vladimir in his 42nd year, 69 fight, 18-month on couch. Come on. They pulled wool over everybody's eyes with this Joshua carry on. And it's caught up with him, and I'm just glad that I stuck to my guns all the way through. So, pity you didn't Terry's Chappendama with your Joshua prediction. Oh, Terry. I thought Terry's heading for a fall on that. Terry, do you know, we've had to delete loads of comments, vile ones as well. We're sticking it to you. They always stick it to Terry and Kent, don't they? But vile ones for Terry's prediction. So everybody's an expert after the fact, aren't they? Horsecock on that channel slaughtering Joshua, but would he do that if Joshua was at Sky, Porky? I think we covered that. No, he wouldn't. He's playing the game like the rest of them, isn't he? Just like Bean with his cancer lies. Do you know what I mean? If you beat cancer, go back to Sky. It's as simple as that. That's what I say. You left because you had cancer, you beat it, go back. I want to try different things. Well, you're still in boxing. You're not trying different things, are you? What happened to horse racing commentary or darts? What's happening there? You know what I mean? It is what it is, isn't it? So, oh wow, the mighty have fallen. But don't tell us whoppers about cancer stories. It's just about as low as it gets. It's as low as Fury with his mental health shit, innit? It didn't happen. Do you know what I mean? So if that's a lie, well, why did he settle out of court with Mick Hennessy? Mate, you were going to put it all out there, wasn't he, in court? Fury settled, didn't he? 1.5 million. I'm wrong. Sue me. Sue me. PorkyCorner@mail.com. Send your writ. Let's see it. No. Did AJ get greedy, Porky, in round 5? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Porky, could AJ get a job as a breakdancer? Yeah, he could do. I've got a cousin who used to be involved in that. He's a window cleaner now, but he used to be involved in all that breakdance carry on. Back in the day when we were all young guns and Joshua trying them head spins and all that, wasn't he? Yeah. Speaking of trilogies, Porky, does anybody fancy AJ and White 3, their trilogy, because they fought once in amateurs, which Dylan White won by knockout, once as pros, because Joshua won by knockout, and a trilogy, Dylan White screaming for him. Well, of course he's going to scream for it. He hasn't fought in England for nearly 2 years, has he? Because he's probably serving a silent ban, allegedly, but nobody can talk about it, can't they? Well, for a start, he's on a Portuguese license. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'd be up to see Joshua against Dylan White at the Copper Box, live on Fight Zone. Because that's where it'll be heading, isn't it? It's not so long ago. Dave Allen was saying there's 2 fights from Joshua. There's probably 1 fight from Joshua at this moment in time. Dave needs a good win, and Joshua only needs to lose 1 more time, and Dave probably could end up fighting him. I mean, I would have thought Cash Elliott being with Joe Joyce, this time 18 months ago. You'd have said Cash Elliott and Joe Joyce. You'd have done a brick tap, wouldn't you? Do me a favour. Can Daniel Dubois rule, or will he be a Buster Douglas stroke Andy Ruiz? 1-hit wonder, Porky. It depends who he goes in with next. But it's possible. Anything's possible. Anything is possible, because that version of Anthony Joshua that he just fought, what worst one I've ever seen. Absolutely the worst one I have ever seen. Josh Warrington needs to hang them up, Porky. Sad to see him still hanging about boxing at his age in the wrong weight division. Why he moved up a weight when he couldn't knock out anybody at the lower weight. So why move up a weight? Yeah, he's got a very poor KO percentage, hasn't he? Josh Warrington. I couldn't really understand why he moved up a weight. I don't know. Is the Lee Wood fight still there? I don't know about that either. But I think with one win in 5 years, that's no good, is it really? And the guy he beat was Kiko Martinez. And he beat him 5 years, 2 months previous, and then fought him when he was in his late 30s at that weight and beat him again. So a guy he'd already beat, and it was 62 months later to beat him again. That's his only win in 5 years. Josh, I do apologise if this comes across as harsh, but you beat Kiko Martinez for the second time, 62 months after you beat him the first time, and you're an old shot fighter. And that's all you've done in 5 years, Josh. You'd only win. So I said you were on slide before the Kakazi fight, and I know that probably hurt you and made you angry, but I thought it might spur you on. But it didn't. Every time you tried to put your foot down, you couldn't. Whereas the old Josh Warrington used to put his foot down and, he'd wear them down, wouldn't he, and get his punches off, but couldn't pull trigger. You can't pull the trigger because Father Time's caught up with you, but nobody's going to tell you. Nobody around you is going to tell you. And that's a shame, really. That's a damned indictment for boxers. They're the last one to know, really. They really know, but they won't admit it. So I'll say that last ones to admit it, because I think they know. For Optional, when he were coming to end, God, he had to put so much effort into that last camp and leave no stone unturned, and elbows strapped up, cortisone injections, this and that, massages, and held together by Papa Mache, honestly. They managed to get through that last camp against Groves, but it comes to them all. It comes to them all, but they're the last ones to admit it. They know, but the last ones to admit it. And I think that's a shame, really. A shame. And I don't want to see Josh Warrington coming back now being a gatekeeper, because that's all that's left for him now, isn't it? He's going to be a gatekeeper. But it is what it is. But it is what it is. But, Big Sean, his old man, he was supposed to put a game plan together. We gave our Josh a game plan. Well, game plan were wrong, wasn't it? Because you shouldn't be giving him game plans like that when you know he can't pull it off because he's not fit enough. So give him a different game plan. Give him a game plan that you think he can pull off, not one that you think he can still pull off 5 years ago, 6 years ago, because it don't work like that, boxing. Do you know what I mean? It's like telling Bernard Hopkins, to pull a game plan off from when he was at his peak when he was 30 and trying to do it at 40. He wouldn't be able to do it, would he? Do you know what I mean? Because you change, don't you? Muhammad Ali couldn't pull a game plan off like he could when he fought Ernie Terrell, when he beat George Foreman. He wouldn't have been able to do that with Foreman, would he? Do you know what I mean? Because fighters get older, they have to adapt. And Josh Warrington's still trying to be the Josh Warrington of old, and he's not that fighter no more, is he? So if he does come back, and I think he will, because they're going to keep pushing him out until they're getting knocked about, because the people around him won't let him pack in, will they? If he does come back, he's going to have to change his style and be a little bit more smarter and a little bit more reserved. But, once it's beat out you, it's beat out you, and I think it's been beat out, that kid. Not so much beat out in people saying he ain't got miles on the clock, but he's worn himself out in the gym with that explosive style, and it's sad to see. Sad to see it like this. One win in 5 years, that's against an old man. That's the statistics. I'm a stat man. So it is what it is, isn't it? Yeah, it's nice to know that somebody just told me, it's nice to know that them at TalkSport, I'm really bothered about them at TalkSport, not so much bothered about that Sky lot. Them at TalkSport are watching. That's all I'm bothered about. You, Judge Jordan, the Gad, and Jug Ears. I know you're watching because I've heard back. It's nice to know you're watching the old Porkmeister. You keep nicking not my one-liners, but my material, and putting your own words to it, some of you. Look, I'm like the guy, aren't they, on the shop floor. I get to know what's going on, what the hardcore fans think, you know, because they email in, don't they? And what the general gist of it all is. So these bigger media outlets, they come to see what I'm saying, and then they take stuff from it. So I think that's good in a way. Does it bother me that they don't give me any recognition? No, not really. I get to know, don't I? So that's all that matters. So, but it is what it is. But like I said before, and I'll say it again, if people keep wanting to chatting nonsense, especially people in and around the boxing industry, and that ice breaks, I'll be waiting. Was Judge Jordan harsh on AJ's legacy, saying he got his legacy will be left as he got battered? No, because when you get a tonking like that, when you've been built up and bigged up like that, and then you get found out, that's all people will remember you for, won't they, really? It's like George Groves, were British Commonwealth, European and a world champion, wasn't he? But all he'll really be remembered for is getting iced, won't he, at Wembley on the big stage. And that's a shame for George Groves, because he comes across as a nice kid, doesn't he? You know, he's a bit dry and that, and a bit different with his Rubik cube and that, but when people mention his names, they go, "Oh, George Groves, yeah, he got put on button moon by Carl Froch at Wembley." They forget about what he did in his career when he beat James DeGale, you know, as an amateur and a pro. James DeGale were like Olympic gold medalist and two-time super middleweight world champion. So, and I think that's what Joshua will be remembered for, getting filled in by Ruiz, Usyk, and, you know, latterly Daniel Dubois, and Dubois does him again. But greed and ego will make them have that rematch, and it will happen. Trust me. I just think it's a shame for people like Martin Bacoli, Caballel, and Joseph Parker, who are waiting, queuing up patiently with IBF in rankings. Even Del Boy's number 10 in rankings with IBF, he could be called for a voluntary, couldn't he? Derek Chisora against Dubois. Oh my God, Derek getting revenge for Anthony Joshua. You never know, do you? You never know. Porky, why the disrespect to Anthony Joshua? Because they've led us all the merry dance, haven't they? Since Olympics, they were gifted things at Olympics, gifted wins. He only beat the Chinaman at Olympics. The other three guys, the Cuban guy, and the I forgot the guy's name now. The Cuban guy and the Italian Camarelli. You know, he didn't beat them. There were another one as well. He had 3 gifts out of the 4 fights. Everybody knows it. So that's why I've got disrespect. And all that, all roads lead to undisputed. Well, you've never had an undisputed fight, but you could have done with Wilder when you had opportunity after you beat Vladimir. We never got that, did we? All we got were lies, 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 and more lies, and rematches, and taking us down other avenues, and swerving, and fake news and all that. That's what we got, didn't we? And it all accumulated in that at weekend, what you just seen last week. So, Porky, do you agree with Ryan Rhodes? Yeah, he shouldn't have thrown that uppercut, should he, Joshua? He threw it, and it come back to haunt him. So, Porky, would you watch Joshua Bacoli? Yeah, but Bacoli knacks him. Joshua and Parker too, would you watch that? Yeah, I would. First one was a stinker, wasn't it? But yeah, I would. Parker was the first one to take him distance, wasn't he? Is AJ a top 10 guy anymore, Russell? Don't call me Russell. You didn't go to school with me and you're not related to me. So, no, he ain't a top 10 guy no more, no. I don't even think he's a top 15 guy anymore now. I think Fraser Clark or Fabio Wardley would knack him now. Now. So, yeah, I got that wrong. It was. I know. Did they call it the cartel? Jack Solomon, he was a bit before them, wasn't he? Mike Barrett and all them, but he was the guy who came to the village where I'm from in Doncaster and used to come up and see Bruce Woodcock training with Jack Solomon. Yeah, correct. He wasn't the cartel guys, but all from that black and white era, isn't it? You know, all them guys. But he was one of the first ones, wasn't he? Jack Solomon. But yeah, that's who Bruce was. We spoke about the Daily Telegraph guy, didn't we? Losing his press pass. Gareth A. Davies, his colleague from the Daily Telegraph. He still went, didn't he? He never spoke up for his colleague, did he? Same as he didn't speak up for Adam Cattrall, did you, Gareth A. Davies? The Gad, who goes on about Ellie Brooks' powerful thighs and Ebony Bridges, you know, leering all over her, weren't you? Where's Ebony now? Why are you not going into bat for Ebony Bridges now, the Gad? She's the Muhammad Ali of boxing, the women's boxing. What happened to her, Gad? What happened to AJ's really focused and on it and got a steely look about him? Hey. What happened to that, Gad? Hey? You're just a quote man, aren't you? That's all you do. You just quote stuff for effect. That's all you are. So, it is what it is. Anybody wanting to come on the channel, the books are still open now. I've got, is it 4 or 5 newbies? Just had 2 on. There's 3 more coming on. Whether they do or not, it's up to them, innit? Usually an hour before, I usually get an email saying, oh, I've got something on this and that. And I only give people one chance. So, all right, so. And then it's a shame that this is how I am, but if anybody wants to come on, you're more than welcome. porkycorner@mail.com. Not Porky's with an S, because I forgot to put S in. porkycorner@mail.com. Not at Gmail, it's porkycorner@mail.com. It's in that bottom corner there. You see it? Email me. Let's see you come on here. We'll start you off with just 10 little bullet points. And over half an hour, we'll see how you go. So you're welcome on. Anybody's welcome. Or if you want to send me a video, if you don't want to come on, we'll put it on the channel. All right. It's up to you. Nobody's twisting anybody's arms. Porky, why are you so brutal? I'm not brutal. I'll just tell it straight. Why do we want to tell Porky's on Porky's Corner? We tell it straight on here. Weak people lie, don't they? We're not gaining anything. We've come this far. It's no good trying to change it now, is it? And go, oh, I love AJ. Think he's great. Oh, Tyson Fury. He didn't really have 3 drug issues. No, it's just a stitch up. Oh, everybody wanted to swerve Tyson. They're scared to death of him. Tyson's a road man. Look, we tell it straight. We're not just going to come out here and kiss ass, are we? Like that Asgi. Have you seen him, that Asgi? Some of the things he comes out with. He's a proper Tyson Fury arse licker, isn't he? Yeah. Peter Fury were good to you, Asgi. And look how you repaid him, eh? What a little turncoat you turned out to be. Naughty, naughty Asgi. Eh? Is Usyk that good, Russell? See another one? It's Porky. Don't call me Russell. You didn't go to school with me. I definitely know you're not related to me with that email. Is Usyk that good, Russell? Or are UK fighters that bad? Well, he's done Chisora, hasn't he? He's done Chisora and he's done Joyce at WBSS, Tony Bellew, Fury, not Joshua twice, and Dubois. He's gone through them all, hasn't he, Usyk? He's the main man at heavyweight. He's fighting people 2 and 3 stone heavier than him. He's the best fighter in world boxing. He's getting old now. So, but no, I just think Usyk's too good, and maybe UK fighters are good, but they're not as good as what they think they are, and that's the problem with the trainers in the UK, in my opinion. That's about it, really. That's about it. Somebody asked me something about drugs the other day. Performance enhancing drugs. Stay off them. Drugs are for mugs. Boozers are for cruisers if you don't abuse it. Performance enhancing drugs. Well, you're punching people in the head for starters. And when they hit you in the head, you're not going to feel it. But when you punch them in the head, you're going to punch in harder. So it's not good, is it? It's not like doing a 100-meter sprint or hitting a tennis ball over a net or a badminton shuttlecock or playing snooker, is it? It's not like that, is it? Although they're big on cocaine testing in snooker at the moment. Massive on it. Because it makes you brave, doesn't it? If you've had a bit of Charlie, you'll make you brave. You'll go for pots that you wouldn't normally go for it, give you confidence, but it can also ruin your game. So it is what it is, isn't it? But no, just try and stay away from drugs if you can. Drugs are for mugs. You'll end up looking like me, won't you? All ravished and all fucking messed up in head. Drugs are no good, trust me. They mess your teeth up as well. So, although these are never going to rot, they're like kitchen sink, aren't they? So that's about it, really. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Max, get in touch. You're welcome on. I think we've got Jake from London coming on this week. Peter De Freitas. A new kid called John. Forgot his second name. I think he used to work with Steve Wood in boxing industry. He's going to come on and spill the beans. What else have I got? There's a few. There's a few newbies coming back on. There's some coming back. I'm looking forward to having Peter De Freitas on tomorrow. I like Peter. I went out for a meal with him in Essex a couple of years ago. He's a nice fella. He's all right. He's achieved a lot in boxing. And he's somebody I respect. So, okie dokie. Thanks for liking and subscribing, as I said, and leaving a comment on the sister channel, Porky's International. I hope you like the stuff that we're putting on there. All right. It's going to be a little bit different what I've got lined up for that in the next few months. All right, so I hope you're going to enjoy the ride on the Porky Express. Booyaka.